Something strange is happening inside the New Orleans Saints building, and nobody in the NFC South wants to admit it. While the Falcons, Panthers, and Buccaneers spent the offseason celebrating modest moves, the Saints were quietly rebuilding into a team nobody in the division wants to see in the fall. No parade, no headlines, no loud press conferences, only a locker room with a new quarterback, a new head coach, and a plan most of the league has ignored. Here's the part nobody is saying out loud. Tyler Shough walked into the starting job last season and won 5 of his 9 starts. Head coach Kellen Moore built an offense around him in weeks, not months. Free agency brought in new weapons, fresh protection up front, and a sharper attitude. And now pick number 8 in the draft sits in front of general manager Mickey Loomis like a decision nobody wants to get wrong. Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love, and Reuben Bain Jr. are each one phone call away from changing the entire season. One of those names walks out of the building in black and gold next week. But here's the twist. The move most fans keep missing has nothing to do with the draft board at all. It has to do with a quarterback the Saints waited 55 years to find the nerve to pick. The last time New Orleans drafted a passer in the first 2 rounds, Archie Manning was the name on the card. You will want to hear why the locker room already believes the second name on the list is the one who finishes what Manning started. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Saints and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. 55 years. That is how long New Orleans waited before spending a top 2 round pick on another passer after Archie Manning. 55 years of hoping, guessing, and drafting around the position. Then last April, the front office called out one name early on day 2, and the city barely blinked. Tyler Shough was written off before he finished his rookie preseason. Most fans penciled in Spencer Rattler as the starter. The depth chart looked settled. The expectations looked low. And then the season actually started. Rattler opened the year and struggled, finishing 1-7 through the first 8 weeks. The offense stalled. The losses piled up. The building needed a spark, and the coaching staff finally made the switch. What happened next flipped the entire narrative around this franchise. Shough walked in, ripped off a 4-game winning streak from week 13 through week 17, and finished his 9 starts with a record of 5-4. His completion percentage sat at 67.6%. He added 10 passing touchdowns, 3 more on the ground, and a belief in the huddle that had been missing for years. And the scary part is, the roster around him was broken. Receivers hurt, running backs hurt, offensive linemen taped up and playing through it. Shough still delivered. He still made the throws. He still walked out of games looking like a player who had done this for a decade. Some fans compared him to Drake May during his first Patriots run, and the comparison is fair. A young passer lifting a banged-up roster tends to leave a mark. The problem for the rest of the division is simple. If this is what he does on a broken team, imagine what he does on a healthy one. And that answer starts with the man calling the plays. A young quarterback is only as sharp as the mind designing his offense. That is why the Kellen Moore hire might be the most overlooked coaching move of the entire offseason. The new head coach did not show up in New Orleans to rebuild slowly. He showed up with the system already shaped around short timing routes, intermediate concepts, and play action shots designed to punish aggressive defenses. Every piece of that design matches what Tyler Shough does best. Slants, posts, hitches, quick outs. The stuff that builds rhythm and keeps the chains moving. But the offense is about to look different in another way. And this is where the front office made moves. Nobody praised enough. Left guard. David Edwards arrived from the Buffalo Bills on a deal most national writers shrugged at. Inside the building, it solved one of the biggest problems from last season. Running back Travis Etienne joined a room with Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, and Audric Estime. Suddenly, the backfield looks deep, fresh, and built for something more physical. Left tackle Kelvin Banks from last year's first round continues to grow into a long-term anchor on the blind side. Put it all together, and the identity is obvious. This is a downhill football team now. Time of possession, bruising runs between the tackles, tight end chip blocks, and quick timing throws to keep defenses honest. Moore is not trying to trick the league with gimmicks. He is trying to win the trenches and let Shough play quarterback inside a safe, well-built pocket. It is the kind of approach that wins divisions and ruins playoff seedings. But there is one last ingredient missing: a weapon, a difference maker, something the entire roster is waiting on. That decision arrives next Thursday night, and the board sitting in front of the Saints at pick number 8 is about to create a panic in the war room. Pick number 8 is a gift and a trap at the same time. The Saints sit in a spot where elite talent falls to them without lifting a finger, yet the pool is so wide it paralyzes decision makers. 6 names keep surfacing in every credible mock draft, and each one builds a different future for this franchise. The fun part is none of them are wrong. The cruel part is only one of them happens, and the room in the facility knows which direction pulls hardest on Kellen Moore and the offensive staff. Start with the wide receivers. Carnell Tate, out of Ohio State projects, as the most complete pass catcher in the class. He hauled in over 96% of catchable targets and earned steady comparisons to a young Chris Olave. Makai Lemon from USC won the Biletnikoff Award as the nation's top receiver. His comparison inside draft rooms has been Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is the highest compliment a slot prospect can receive. Then step to the defensive side. Safety Caleb Downs won the Thorpe Award and looks like a plug-and-play leader for a full decade. Clemson cornerback Mansour. Delane gives Brandon Staley a press corner with real ball skills. Miami edge, rusher Reuben Bain. Junior brings the bend and the burst New Orleans has been missing. And then there is the boldest name on the board. Jeremiah Love, the Notre Dame running back, has been floating near the top 10 for months, and some teams view him as the single most dynamic offensive player in the class. Imagine pairing him with Travis Etienne. Imagine what Moore does with that kind of two-headed backfield. The Saints have options everywhere they look, but one private workout on the other side of the country just lit a fire under this whole draft board, and it happened yesterday. April 17th might be remembered as the day the entire first round shifted. That was when Jordan Tyson, the Arizona State receiver, finally held his long-awaited private workout for NFL teams. He sat out the combine. He sat out his pro day. A hamstring injury kept him quiet through the whole pre-draft circuit, and the silence created doubt. Teams wondered if the old tape still matched the current body. The tension built for weeks. Then the workout happened, and 20 NFL teams showed up to watch. 20. Read that number again. The Titans, Giants, Commanders, Eagles, Dolphins, Cardinals, Bills, Panthers, Browns, Cowboys, Lions, Packers, Raiders, and Chargers all sent scouts or coaches to Arizona to see one man run routes. Per ESPN's Pete Thamel, one source at the workout said the twitch, the explosiveness, and the leaping ability looked exactly like the fall tape. ESPN's Matt Miller reported Tyson ran between 20 and 25 routes and dropped only one pass. For a receiver coming off months of rehab, that is a near-perfect showing. His stock did not rebuild, it rocketed. Now circle back to the Saints. Before the injury, Tyson was in the conversation for WR, one of this entire class. Dane Brugler's scouting report compared his skill set to Stephon Diggs. The Saints have a track record of investing in talent with medical questions. Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, and even Tyler Shough himself all carried red flags and still became first-round investments. If the medical's clear, Tyson at pick 8 stops being a dream and starts becoming a real path. But before the front office picks any receiver, there's one ugly truth about the current wide receiver room that fans keep avoiding. Chris Olave is the star. That part is not up for debate. he is a legitimate WR1 with clean roots, strong hands, and the trust of his quarterback. Those two names anchor the room. The problem is what sits behind them. The depth chart turns into a long list of question marks. Jalen Polk is still unproven. Bub Means and Trey Palmer fight for snaps. The tight end room gives some relief through Juwan Johnson and Noah Fant, but they cannot replace a true outside threat. The deep shot game also disappeared last season. Rashid Shaheed was traded to Seattle, and the entire vertical element of the offense went with him. Kellen Moore needs a stretch-the-field presence to make play action real again. Defenses are stacking the middle because nobody punishes them deep. That is the number one reason this receiver conversation matters more than any other position group in the draft. One injury to Olave, and this passing attack has no counterpunch. This is why the front office is treating weapon acquisition like oxygen. Shough cannot grow into a franchise passer without real targets. Moore cannot prove his system without weapons matching his concepts. The roster cannot contend in the NFC South without fixing this group first. That is why the name called at pick 8 carries so much weight. But the truth is, one elite receiver does not rebuild a room. The second and third round have to deliver too, and one prospect in particular is begging the Saints to let him come home. His name is Chris Hilton Jr., and his home sits 30 minutes from the stadium. The LSU deep threat grew up in Zachary, Louisiana, watched Drew Brees on television as a kid, and idolized Marquez Colston and Lance Moore before he ever ran a route for the Tigers. Now he wants to stay. Hilton became the first player in history to participate in all 4 college all-star showcase games. That level of hunger is not coached. It is built in. His speed profile screams replacement for the Rashid Shaheed role, and his ability to play inside or outside gives Moore a new toy to design around. Another day 2 name keeps getting whispered in Saints circles. Chris Bell out of Louisville. The ACL tear dropped him from a likely first-round grade into day 2 range, but he played with Tyler Shough in college, and the chemistry between them is not a guess. It is documented. If New Orleans goes defense in round 1, Bell becomes one of the most logical round 2 targets on the entire board. Other names worth tracking include Omar Cooper Jr., Denzel Boston, Elijah Sarrett, Zachariah Branch, and KC Conception. Each offers a different flavor of explosion. Then there is the backfield curveball nobody expected. Arkansas running back Mike Washington Jr. ran the fastest 40-yard dash of any back at this year's Combine at 4.33 seconds. He added a 39-inch vertical and a 10'8" broad jump. Penn State's Nicholas Singleton was recently medically cleared after his Senior Bowl foot injury and is now fully back in the running back conversation. The Saints have plenty of options on day 2, but the defense is where the sneakiest storylines live, and one visit from a rising edge rusher might flip the whole plan. The defense has been quietly assembling something special. Linebacker Caden Ellis walked over from division rival Atlanta, and Falcons fans have not stopped complaining about losing him. Chase Young posted a strong bounce-back season. Carl Granderson keeps producing without national spotlight. Defensive coordinator Brandon Staley runs a scheme that rewards smart, versatile defenders, and there is one position on this roster still missing a long-term answer. The star role, a defender who lives in the slot, blitzes off the edge, and disrupts tight ends. The draft board has a perfect fit waiting. Clemson cornerback Avion Terrell, the younger brother of Falcons All-Pro A.J. Terrell, set the Clemson record for forced fumbles by a defensive back with 8 across his career and 5 in the 2025 season alone. Then there is UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence, who took a reported pre-draft visit to New Orleans. Standing 6'4" and 253 pounds, he posted a 40-inch vertical and sits in rare company athletically with names like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and Montez Sweat. Either player changes the defensive ceiling of this team. And here's the final curveball. New Orleans has not traded back since 2007. 18 years. but this draft gives them a reason to finally break the streak. If 5 players they love are still on the board at 8, moving down to 10 or 12 and collecting a second-round pick is the smartest move general manager Mickey Loomis could make. That kind of trade turns 1 star into 2 starters, and 2 starters turn the Saints from dark horse to real division threat. Tyler Shough has his coach. His scheme is building. His weapons are coming. The rest of the NFC South has 1 week to prepare, and by this time next Friday, New Orleans might already be a different football team.